That's a neat euphemism. The manager gave us a speech.
That's it was a rocket. You know, they'd been blasted at half-time. We saw Anthony Barry, the assistant coach's interview, where he was really forceful on them. He was punchy. They weren't happy. They've come out really aggressive at the start of the second half. I mean, the Jude Bellingham argument is over. We've spent the last 3 or 4 months, right? You've been at sort of the forefront of this about whether it's Jude Bellingham or Morgan Rogers. We can't be disrespectful to Morgan Rogers because he's a really good player, but Jude Bellingham is the absolute top player. We've got fantastic players in Bellingham and Kane up top. If the other 8 just play around them and feed them, they will win us football matches, and they've done that today.
And we were saying this just before we went to Harry Kane here, Ian. England have got runners, they've got pace, and as Royce just said, people who want to run in beyond, and here's a perfect example.
Brilliant play from us, the way we played out. You know, Emma done it brilliantly on a chalkboard. Emma done brilliantly showing us this, but like the fact is, it's the movement and the one touch and the ball in the back. I thought that was getting in the way there, but like, obviously the defender, Roy's not happy with the defender running away from Jude, but honestly, Jude, you know, I can't believe people doubted him. I'm just so pleased that once again he's proved to the doubters what he is. You know what I mean? What he is, and he is a top player, superstar.
And there was a lot of nervous energy around him, and maybe they needed to get to the half-time, just have that breather. Again, we talk about what you do in terms of possession, but it's really important, like Harry Kane said, and sometimes a manager needs to remind players it's what you do out of possession. And as good as Bellingham was in possession, his work rate was fantastic. Second half, we've seen him make a lot of great tackles running back, and that can lift players in a different way.
You know, it was good to hear him say when Harry Kane said that the manager said, if we're going to lose, let's lose how we're going to play. That's the main thing. And, you know, they came out in second half perfect.
Oh, there's a template, isn't there? He's made it quite clear, Thomas Tuchel, this is the way I want my England to play.
There's 2 or 3 subs that have come on there. Jed Spence has come on. He's done really well. I think that Marcus Rashford's come on, and Anthony Gordon was a little bit quiet today. I think there'll be changes for the second game. I think genuinely there is competition for places. The manager doesn't respect reputations. He plays players that he thinks are in form. And I think even at centre-back, Mark Gay coming on for John Stones, I think there's something there in that as well. So, look, it was really positive at the end. I agree with Roy. It was good to get a couple of punches in the first half and just demonstrate our vulnerabilities. We can't take for granted the fact that we just need to protect that back four a little bit more.
You don't often see in a World Cup game what happened the next 5 minutes, which is just a siege of the goal, and Livakovic played brilliantly. It's quite unusual for a World Cup game where suddenly one team is just constantly attacking. You thought it was going to end 5 or 6.
There was a really good feel to the game from the start. It didn't feel. We were thinking, would it be cagey? But again, it felt like a knockout game. And that's what made it a brilliant game. And as much as Croatia lacked that bit of quality, they had a right go. But England showed their qualities toward the end. We talk about the options off the bench. The English success, you need Kane obviously at his very, very best. But competition from within the squad will drive this team to the latter stages, and whether they can get over the line obviously remains to be seen.
Yeah, I thought the game was too harsh, really. I thought first half we was okay. Really disappointed to concede in the way we did, the way we dropped off. And credit to the manager. The manager gave us a speech at half-time just to say, look, if we lose, if we see a man in front, we go. And just the intensity we went at, I think that's our biggest strength. So we're going to have to use that more this tournament.
Is that the template? Is that the level now you've set? And higher maybe, that sort of early part in the second half?
That second half for sure. And even the way we controlled the game, you know, once we went ahead, we never really looked like we was in danger. We controlled possession well, and then obviously scored on the counter-attack, which you can do in these type of games. So we had a spell there, first 20 minutes, where we could have scored 3 or 4. But in the end, you know, it's 3 points on the board and a great start.
And Jude Bellingham at tournament level again, like you, coming good. What it matters.
Yeah, great goal, great run, great finish. But you can see the desire from Jude. You know, you can see it in training. The competition we have in the place is a high level. So whoever plays, everyone is ready. And you saw Jude is, you know, was itching to get out there. And what a fantastic goal!
Sweet Caroline is already playing. Well done. Thank you, Harry.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And the confidence they get from creating so many chances in that 5-minute spell. Of course, they need to take them, and they want to take them. Sometimes a bounce of the ball, the goalkeeper plays extremely well. But for 5 minutes, it was attack v defence.
It was. They were on the ropes. You know, Jude there. That was just after he scored the goal. You know, we straight in again, and it was a definite like they were really wobbling. You know what I mean? A bit great there to try and get another goal in that time. But by this time, I didn't think that they were going to cause us any more problems. That was brilliant. The keeper for them, it's made some unbelievable saves. This could have been anything.
But you know that this is not going to last forever, and that you have to get another goal, because there was about 10 minutes before the 4th goal where Croatia then pressed.
This was brilliant from Jed Spence.
That's when Jed Spence came on. My point is, you have to all right, England have won the game, but you need to take that. When you're on top, you need to take that opportunity to stretch that lead, don't you? Because it won't last forever.
No, it won't last forever, but what we saw is a team that wants to go forward and want to get and create chances, and then the more you do go forward, like in this game, and take those chances, the more confidence you'll get, especially the players coming off the bench. Now they've got a chance as well.
In a tournament, Mark, in a perfect world, what you'd have is a team that can play high intensity for 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes and blow teams away, which is what we've done there in that part of the game. You'd also have a team that can sit back and soak up a bit of pressure when they're on top. The third bit is the most important bit, is the bit, can we keep possession and take the sting out of the game by keeping the ball? We haven't quite demonstrated that today, but that might come later in the tournament.
Yeah, and when you think of the talk about the technical ability of the England players, that would have been a hammer blow just going in at half time, conceding a goal.
Definitely.
So the reactions suggest obviously they're up for a fight, and on top of the quality. And it's great again in the manager to remind players about what goes on in the football game. You got to run, you got to close people down. Never forget that side of it, because all this talent without that other bit is no good to you. So they found that little bit in the second half, and I thought they did control the second half.
Yes. Mark, when they said that they were going to listen to the assistant manager Anthony Barry, I think, what we're listening to him for? And then obviously you're just thinking the assistant manager's going to come on, he's going to say, yeah, it's
blandishments,
you're bland, say nothing, bit vanilla. He came out, he was fuming. He was absolutely fuming with that first half performance, and it told us a lot. It told us a lot about the mentality of how Thomas Tuchel will have been ripping into them at half time. Harry Kane called it a speech. That will have been, I think that will have been quite forceful words, and saying that's not good enough. We can't be like that.
And then just see how many of the finishers, the subs, the finishers is the modern term, isn't it, were involved in that fourth goal. I mean, there's so many of them. Spence was involved, Saka was involved, Rashford finishes it.
I was delighted for someone like Jed Spence, because he's somebody that's got a little bit of criticism, saying that, Jed Spence, he can defend. But look at Jed Spence trying to get forward. Even with the chance we just saw him get there, where he just missed out with the keeper. But then Saka coming on, you know what I mean, calmly setting it in for Rashford to finish so brilliantly. Something it didn't look like we could ever have done in the first half with that left side.
We've got 5 in the box right here. I tell you, honestly, when those lads run forward at the speed that they are, they're going to be unplayable to certain teams. They really are. Honestly, look at this. It's devastating, the speed of this.
No matter who you are defensively, Roy, that many people, speed running at you is a danger.
When the game is stretched like that, of course, you've got pace. You can't coach that. You've got pace and power. And obviously, how many times we've seen Rash, poor defender, he's got to keep Marcus on his left-hand side, but beautiful. And when he gets on that side, again, the power, we've mentioned earlier, the power of his instep, his finish, is absolutely fantastic. Beautiful. And as soon as he turned back inside, it was a goal. And you see the manager, they enjoyed it, didn't they?
He was just holding his hamstring after the game, Rashford, so we don't know, because sometimes that's what happens. And Rice, of course, came off, and he's been nursing a back injury for a couple of months, Rice. So you're just going to have to be careful. I think in a perfect world, you beat Ghana respectfully, and then maybe you can think about what you're going to do after that with the Panama game.
Yeah, well, I think that your hope is precautionary, obviously, but like the fact is that I thought that when we did go 3-2 and we were really on top of him, I thought, it might be a good time just to take him off. I think it is precautionary more than anything else. Hopefully it is. But like at the same time, we have got players that can come on and do. You drop Jude back, you still got Elliott, them two to play together. We've got cover. We've got cover for people.
Mark, at the start of the game, what we were worried about for England was that Luka Modric was going to run the game. That didn't happen. Obviously he's a great player, but he went off, I think, after 55 minutes. It was just too much for him. And our lads, to be fair, this is him sort of...
England pressed him from the word go, didn't
they? Honestly, Elliot Anderson in particular, we really targeted him and sort of got around him and didn't let him dictate the game. In years gone past, England teams have stood off players like that and let them have 100 passes. These lads didn't do that today, to be fair to them.
And he never quite got his rhythm, so he's been pressed immediately, and then a couple of moments later, from here, he gives away the penalty when he brings down Madueke, and then we have the situation with the twice taken penalty. Just... for the first time ever, looked like he was half a beat off.
Yeah, which is a problem when you're playing in the middle of the park. Again, your experience can be vital, but if you're not at it and people are running over you, that experience then can cost you, because he's 40 years of age. And England dominated midfield, and that was a big part of winning the game. And I don't think England paid Modric any respect in that sense, and you're not supposed to.
No.
You're in there, you're battling for your own country, obviously. And that's, again, these were big moments. Big moments in the game.
Now, it might have been retaken anyway, because the goalkeeper appears to have left his line, but definitely retaken because Gvardiol, who got to the rebound, had encroached. So it was in the area the moment that Harry Kane actually made connection with the ball, so it's retaken, and he doesn't miss from there. And then after 1-1, they then mysteriously leave him totally alone. One of the best strikers in the world is left alone from a corner.
Yeah,
which
really.
is unfair.